Did you know that some of the coolest movies, games, adverts, and even church content you see today are made with 3D animation? Yes, 3D is no longer a foreign idea. It is growing here in Nigeria, and young people are now learning how to create amazing 3D worlds right from their home. Welcome to Tech Hub. My name is Victor RK, and today we are talking about 3D generation and how Africa is accepting and using it. We're also going to be having a guest who's going to be joining us to have the conversation, someone who teaches 3D and helps young Nigerians turn creativity into real skills. But first, let us check the tech news making headlines today. On the tech news, the National Information Technology Development Agency, NITDA, has announced new training programs for young Nigerians in animation, 3D design, visual effects, and digital art. The agency says the goal is to prepare more young creatives for jobs in film, gaming, advertising, and virtual reality. Officials believe that Africa can become a major creator of digital content, not just the consumers. Well, away from that particular story, we'll see that the Vice President of Nigeria, Kashim Shettima, says that the digital economy is now one of Nigeria's biggest chances to grow. He said this during the Digital Nigeria International Conference 2025. He believes that young Nigerians can help the country lead in tech if we improve our digital systems. We're talking about data center boom in Nigeria. We see that Nigeria is now seeing a big rise in data centers. Local and foreign companies are investing billions of dollars to build data centers in Lagos and Abuja. And these centers will support AI, cloud storage, fintech, and big companies. But electricity is still the biggest challenge that we are facing here in Nigeria. Well, we'll talk about global tech news. Google has announced a new idea called Project Suncatcher. They plan to build AI data centers on solar-powered satellites and send them into space. And these floating centers will run AI without using land or water on Earth. That's quite fascinating. And in China, we see that China has launched the first part of its space supercomputer. 12 satellites are already in orbit. Each one carries AI systems that can process huge amounts of data. Experts are saying that this could change how we use AI forever. Well, that's what we have for you on Tech News this morning. You get to find out that tech is moving fast, and of course, Africa is getting ready, to also enjoy what we have in the world of technology. Now let's come back home and talk about something creative, powerful, and of course, very exciting, talking about 3D creation. 3D is becoming a big part of our world. We see it in movies, adverts, music videos, games, practically everywhere. And here in Africa, many young people are now learning 3D because the tools are easier to use and some of them are even free. A recent 2025 report says that the demand for 3D work in Nigeria, Kenya, and South Africa has grown by more than 40% in the last 2 years. And so today, on Tech Hub, we are asking a simple question. Is Africa ready for 3D? And to help us understand this better, we have Uchenna Okiya, a 3D artist and a 3D animation tutor. He has been helping young people understand how 3D works and how they can use it to build careers. Let's talk about 3D in Nigeria and Africa with Uchenna Okiya. Uchenna, good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Happy to be here.
Yeah, it's good to have you join the conversation with us this beautiful day.
Yeah, same here.
Now when we talk about 3D animation, what does it mean? For someone hearing it for the first time, how would you explain it in simple words?
So 3D animation is simply creating digital versions of real world representations. It can be human beings, can be environment. We're just trying to tell stories in a virtual space because in the human world, there are limitations when it goes to, like, if you're trying to go to tell a movie about somebody in space, it's expensive to go to space. So why don't you do it with 3D? You can design a character you want, and then you can do VFX with it. So in the simple term, just representing the world in a digital space and using that to tell amazing stories, positive stories that can move people. And yeah, that's the simplest way I can explain it, really.
Yeah, and I will see that in Africa, somehow 3D is beginning to gain acceptance. Why do you think 3D is beginning to, get popular in Nigeria and of course across Africa right now?
Yeah, so I think the current trend has been, like we're seeing what's happening. Data is beginning to show how much digital arts 3D can bring into the economy, how much storytelling can bring to the economy. And of course, Africa is like a powerful storytelling ground. Africans tell amazing stories. So tapping into this technology to tell stories will also just broaden how much means we have to tell better stories. And sometimes, in some cases, it saves you money, because if we're telling the story with a human being, actors get tired, and locations can be hard to access. But in a digital world, you can represent them in digital world and take people to places they've not been before using digital spaces.
Very true. Do you really think that right now in Africa, in Nigeria specifically, that we're taking it seriously as much as possible?
Not just right now. So I've been doing this for a very long time, almost more than 15 years. And I have always, at the time I came into the scene, when I didn't know anything, there were already people that were very good, top people that were very good, people like Dudu Tunes, Abini, Richard, Orange Effect. There were already people that were very good. So we've always had talents. It's just that most of us are introverts. We don't normally come out to make just do the work, and then we stay behind the camera. So, but now, because social media, there are a lot of people now showing themselves out there. People behind the works are beginning to speak out, and they were beginning to see a lot of them pop out. But we've always had them there for many years. They don't normally come.
Let's talk about some of the challenges basically that we face in Africa is in 3D. What are some of the biggest challenges so far that you've experienced even as a 3D designer or 3D artist?
One of the biggest, I hate to say it, but it is funding. So let me break it down. Not just funding that we need money. The equipment we are all buying that we use and the tools we use are all made by foreign companies, and they charge in dollars. And you know how much dollars is right now. So having to access those tools, except for the free ones, it makes it difficult for people who don't have access or means to get those things. So even like a good laptop that you need for 3D can be costing you anywhere from $900 and above.
Whoa.
So it makes it, if you don't have the money, it makes it difficult to come in. Yeah. So, and I saw some data that shows like last year, 700K was like a high paying salary nowadays. So it shows you how many people can afford that. So it's a very expensive field to get into, but it is worth it because it is rewarding too, right? Yeah. So yeah, those are the only barriers I see most of the time. Then before knowledge, access to knowledge was an issue, but now with schools popping up, MasterCard is funding a lot of people like Yapi, where I teach right now. They are making it free, so you come and teach. You just come for free. You don't pay for it. Before it used to be expensive, but Yapi makes it free. You come and teach, come and learn for free. And we're talking about people that all have experiences, that have learned it in Nigeria here, teaching you, sharing with you. We also have like people from abroad teaching us, making curriculum that are specified, the focus for Nigerian market. So Yapi is putting a lot on the line with MasterCard to make sure that people learn this particular skill for free. And we have other places like Orange FX, Magic Lab, all of them also putting in the works to make it accessible for people to learn these tools. So yeah, it's getting better now, but it's still a barrier, of course. It's not easy to learn, and it's expensive to get into.
Talking about the expensive nature of it, first of all, because when you talked earlier, you talked about the fact that getting a system that you can use for 3D animation is going to cost you around 900,000 and above. For someone who does not have that kind of money, how does the person get into the industry? This person has the passion, the person is willing to learn, has dedicated his time in learning, but doesn't have the resources to get in the laptop that is worth that amount. Are there other alternatives or alternative tools that he can use to at least begin the journey into 3D animation?
Yeah, so like I said, there are places that are making it accessible for people to get access to computers, right? Like I said, Yapi and other schools. So once you enroll, it's free. You have access to computers and you can come and use them. Now, that being said, I think we still need to do enough where they need to have like spaces where people can just go and get computers to use so that more people can get access. Because if you're in Ibadan, you can't be coming to Lagos just because you want to use a computer, right? I mean, government can put a lot of energy back into spaces, so spaces that can have computers for people to start coming in to learn or practice. Because Nigerians are very smart. They can self-learn. They just don't have access to the tools. So if you can put a hardware on the ground, people will teach themselves these things, right? Yeah. So, that's for me. I feel like we have places that are trying, making accessible hardware, but it's not enough. It's still not enough.
So a lot of work still needs to be done in this particular regards, you say. But now you've mentioned that, of course, you train in some of these institutes. And have you, by any chance, seen any surprising talent from the students, that you trained so far? People that are
Wow,
coming in to
yes,
shake the
yes, yes.
market.
So yes, yes. So you know your country, Nigeria, is really, really filled with talents. Nigerian youths are very
Surely.
enterprising. They are very, very smart. So in the program, we've seen a lot of people who didn't know anything coming in, having like in a short time just understand how this thing works and begin to do amazing stuff. The program I'm teaching Yapi right now has a class called the PWD class. The PWD is for people with disabilities. So we're teaching deaf and dumb people how to use these tools. We are the only schools I'm saying doing that. And we have amazing, like I have a student called Aliyu. He's such a powerful student. He came in on it, and now he does 3D on Blender very well. It's really rewarding for me to see someone like that have that kind of skill to earn globally. And because of this kind of program exists. So we have seen surprising talents pop out. And I'm not sure because Nigerians are very, very smart. It's just that they just need access, right? So yeah, a lot of surprising talents coming out. And it's mostly targeted at females too. There are a lot of women coming to this space now with amazing talents like that originally weren't there before. Yeah, most women are very powerful women in our spaces now coming out that can do amazing work out there. And most of them are still like in our program and also like out there professionals. So yeah, a lot of talents have been popping up here and there. It's just that it's hard to gather them into a space. We try to gather them into a place where you have a community where you can point them to go and find these people in just that one space. Yeah.
And just finally now, how far are we from competing globally in 3D? Our Nigerian 3D animators, are we, do we have the skill to stand toe to toe, head to head with, global competitors?
So yeah, so it's a yes, but a few of them can. It's still small people. So I'll give an example. Most of the movies you're watching out there, Nigerians are mostly like in the crew that make them. So for example, let's talk about South Africans hire a lot of Nigerians, top talents like Samson. There's a guy called Samson. He's really good. He's a multi-talented disciplinary artist. He can do everything. He works for most of the big movies. We have people like have you seen the movie Eyes of Wakanda?
I haven't yet, but I think I should look out for it.
Marvel made that movie, and a Nigerian called Harry Dungu on LinkedIn. He was concept artist for that thing. He even won an award for his work on that work. The work beat a lot of international people just to win that award. So these are Nigerian local talents that grew up here, learned these skills by themselves, self-taught, and then went to become globally recognized. I can name a lot, but off the top of my head, we have a lot of them competing globally, right? There's a company called Omoberry, and one of the lead artists was Benga Adejimobi. So we have them globally competing. It's just that they're not enough. That's why this school is open to get some people like that to come and start sharing that knowledge to the next generation. So we can create more of those kind of talents all over the country. Right now, just a few of us who can stand toe to toe globally. Yeah.
Let's talk about money and opportunities, of course. Just okay. You want to drop a final thought there?
Yeah, I want to drop. So one more company I wanted to mention is look out for. It's called Spoof Animation.
Okay.
They make animation for global companies in America. Their work is so globally like so good that you don't even know it's a Nigerian people making that work. So look out for Spoof too, really amazing company too. So those are the people that are already showing that we have a global capacity. We just need more funding in that space and more support.
Right. But can 3D actually pay the bills right now in Nigeria? I mean, for a young person who wants to get into the 3D animation world, can this skill pay my bills here in the country?
Currently, it's paying my bills. It's paying my bills currently. So, but you have to get to a certain level where you are an expert. Getting to an expert in our space is not easy. Now, it's not easy not because of that the Nigerians are not smart. It's just because of lack of access. Like the limitations of the hardware. The higher you get to make more money, the more better hardware you have to buy. So better hardware costs more money. So a lot of people cannot get to that level because of the lack of funding to buy the equipment they need. But then also knowledge. But yeah, 3D can, the certain level you get to in Nigeria, 3D can pay your full fees. You don't have to do anything else. Just work from home. But yeah.
Conclusively, what's the future for 3D animators now in Nigeria? What's the future? What does the future hold for us? I mean, for 3D animators as it is.
So I cannot speak for everybody else. I know we all have goals. I know all of us have goals to become globally recognized. So, but what I will tell you is we have, I, for example, I'm working on creating a community of people that can compete with India like India right now is like one of the top coming out with the best animations in the world because they used to work for foreign companies and now they're doing their own thing. So I want Nigerians to come together, all people have talent to come together and start making things that can challenge global perspectives of what they think our work looks like, right?
Yeah.
If we can get the top minds to sit together in a space and make a good story, we will start competing globally because we have the talent. We just don't have like the support to sit down in a space and focus on it.
Wow. All right, thank you so much, Uchenna, for your time this morning. We appreciate you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Well, to be here.
Yeah, we've been talking with Uchenna Okia, who is, of course, a 3D animator. And, of course, yeah, share with us some of his thoughts, surrounding the 3D market here in Nigeria, of course, Africa, and what the future holds for us. Now, before we go, let's give you a few tips, moving on to how to segment right now on Tech Hub. All right, so before we call it a wrap, this is the tech tip of the day. 1, keep your project files organized. You see, 3D files can get big and of course they can get messy. So what you need to do is create folders for models, textures, sounds, and renders. Good organization makes your work faster and saves you stress. All right, do remember that 3D is the future of storytelling, design, and digital art. And the good news, Africa is already part of this future. Thank you so much for watching Tech Hub today. My name is Victor. Okay, until next time, stay techy.